Hey guys, how's it going? So, just wanted to come out and just say a few words, something that's kind of been brought up to mind. And it comes from a tendency that we have as people to overcomplicate things sometimes. And I say that because I'm guilty of it. And oftentimes God has to remind me of my tendency. And so we see it specifically in the Old Testament, in the book of Micah, chapter 6, specifically in verse 8. We see God talking to Israel and bringing up some issues that he has with Israel. And he starts off by reminding Israel what he's done for them, right? And then he says, what are you going to come to me with? What are you going to bring me? Is it going to be 1,000 calves? Is it going to be oil? Is it going to be all these things? And then he reminds Israel lovingly, what do I require of you but to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God? And so I just wanted to take some time and just remind us, just encourage you that God doesn't, we don't need to overcomplicate things. God doesn't need you to jump through all these different hoops. He doesn't need you to spend hours in prayer, praying a certain way. You don't need to spend hours reading the Bible. What he wants you to do is just walk with him. So oftentimes we have a tendency to, even in these acts of praying, even in these acts of reading, right? We have a tendency to do them and then walk away, and then there's the rest of life, right? And that's the idea here that God is saying, is like he just wants you to walk with him. You don't need to make it some bigger thing than it is. But as you go about your day, as you're working, as you're enjoying the kids, as whatever it is, as you're going through life, walk with him. And it's interesting that he uses that phrase, right? To walk with him humbly, recognizing our need, recognizing the blessings that he's given us every day. And I think I'm reminded of the picture that if my kids, any of my kids, in their busy schedules, in the running and the hustle and bustle of life, if any time my kid put aside 5 to 10 minutes, okay? Think about this. If your kid put 5 to 10 minutes aside and said, Dad, I just want to hang out with you and talk with you a little bit. I'm pretty busy right now, but I want to just hang out and talk to you and just sit with you. Am I going to push him away or say, no, just 10 minutes is all you're giving me? Like, whatever. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to love that. I'm going to appreciate that. And how much more our good God. And so I want to encourage you guys, if you only have, and let's start here, right? We're not going to get into the craziness of how much time you should be putting aside. You should be making time. But at the very least, 10 minutes of your day reading God's word, right? Write something down. Take it with you. If you're spending any amount of time, you should always try to put a certain amount of time aside, and that's the beautiful thing, right? I'm so thankful that God doesn't give us you have to put X amount of time, because one of the things is these things need to come from the heart. And so sometimes we make it a rigid thing. So if you're putting time aside to spend with God, enjoy it. Walk humbly with him all day long. Yeah, you might spend 10 minutes reading God's word, but I'm telling you, look at this tree behind me. Look at this beautiful day. I mean, I'm feeling the sun on my face, the warmth, and I can just enjoy him. And God is pleased with that. As I'm reminded of him, as I'm reminded about the beauty of this world that he's given us this day, that's worship. I'm walking humbly with him. As I'm playing with my kids and wrestling and laughing and enjoying them, that's enjoying the gifts that he's given me. And so what we don't want to do is we don't want to say, hey, I need to live life, and then through my life I need to take time aside from my life and give it to God. No, God is your life. He's giving you everything. Remember him when you're playing with your kids. Remember him when you're enjoying this beautiful day. Remember him as you're doing what you need to do of work and all these things. So guys, just walk humbly with him. Be blessed. Bye.